Alright, so here's the video for the study guide for the quiz on Monday. So it says, which number line shows the graph of the inequality? X is greater than -7. Okay, so greater than -7. Well, so we've got that at -7. We've got that at -7. That's at +7. And that's at +7. So we can get rid of those two choices because they're both at +7. Now, greater than is to the right. Well, this one is left, so it has to be the second choice. Okay. Now, a shelf has 4 books on it. The weight in pounds of each book on the shelf is listed. So 2.1, 3.2, 2.6, and 1.8. Which inequality represents the weight W of any book chosen from the shelf? Well, so if I put them in order from least to greatest, I've got 1.8, then 2.1, 2.6,
Rachel, I'm stepping away for a minute.
3.2. So now if I look at my answers, W is greater than 1.8. Well, 1.8 is not greater than 1.8, so it can't be A. For B, 3.2 is not less than 3.2, because 3.2 is equal to 3.2, so it can't be B. Well, for C, 3.2 is not less than 2.8, so it can't be C. But 1.6, well, 1.8 is bigger than 1.6. 2.1 is bigger than 1.6. 2.6 is greater than 1.6. And 3.2 is greater than 1.6. So since they are all greater than 1.6, our answer is D. Now, another answer that isn't there is, well, we could say that this person needs to stop calling me. We could say that W is less than 3.3 because, well, 3.3 is bigger than 3.2. It's bigger than 2.6. It's bigger than 2.1, and it's bigger than 1.8. Okay. For question 3, we want to select all the numbers that are solutions to t is greater than 4. Well, 6 is greater than 4, so A works. 1 is less than 4, so no. 0 is less than 4, so no. 4.01 is greater than 4, so that works. 4 equals 4, so it's not greater than 4, so that doesn't work. and 2.2 is less than 4. So that doesn't work. So it's A and D. And then it wants us to graph this inequality. Well, since it's just less than, that means we need an open circle. So, and it's, sorry, since it's greater than, we need an open circle. So we want the symbol that looks like this. So you're going to see this, 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 and possibly that. Well, you choose this one because we want greater than. If it was less than, then we would choose this one. Now, it will just put this at some random, it will put that circle at some random point on here. Well, we don't want it at some random point. We want to put that circle at 4. Okay, so we move the circle to 4, and the arrow will go that way. And then we've graphed our inequality. Nose is driving me nuts. It itches, it itches, it itches. Sorry. Now, which is correct? Well, we use a little bit of common sense here. So, we've got a number line, 0, -5. Well, -5 is less than 0. Well, that says it's less than 0. That says it's less than 0. That says it's greater than 0. And that says it's greater than 0. So we can get rid of choice C and D. Now, -5 is less than 0 because -5 is to the left of 0. -5 is less than 0 because -5 is to the right of 0. Well, left is here and right is here. Well, it's to the left. So it's A. Okay, it is that simple. Now, this question 5 is the hardest question on the quiz. Okay, but there is also almost an infinite number of correct answers. Okay, so we've got A is smaller than B, is less than B. B is less than C. But the absolute value of B is greater than C. So, A is smaller than B. B is a smaller value than C. So I'm going to reword this. A is a smaller value than B. B is a smaller value than C. B is farther from 0 than C. Okay, so now if I draw a number line, okay, so this is just a sketch. Okay, it does not have to be accurate by any means. So I'm going to stick 0 here. Well, B is somewhere over here. A is smaller than B, so A is somewhere over here. Now C, okay, this is where the tricky part comes in. So if this is the distance for B to 0, then C has to be smaller than that. Okay, so C can be anywhere in this space. All right, now I know this is still very confusing. So basically, we want to pick B first. So let's say we know B has to be negative. So let's say we pick B to be -5. Well, that means the absolute value of -5 is 5. So that means C can be -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Because the absolute value of -4 is 4, this is -4 is 4 spaces away from 0. -3 is 3 spaces away from 0. -2 is 2 spaces away. -1 is 1 space away. 0 is 0 spaces away, and so forth. And so the distance from 0 for all those numbers is smaller than 5. But also, those numbers are all bigger than -5. Now, when we pick A can be -6, negative that, -8, -9, -10, and so on. Okay, so whatever we pick for B determines what A can be. Okay, so pick your B so that you can find your C. And once you've found your C, you can pick your A. And so, if I pick -2, well, then C can be -1, 0, or 1. And so -3, -2, -1. And I'm done. -5, -4, -6. So -6, -5, -4. Okay. And then for our last question. Put them in order from least to greatest. Okay. So, I've got a negative, a negative, a negative, a negative, a negative, and a positive. Well, since 1/3 is the only positive, 1/3 is going to go last. Well, -2, -2/3, -5/4 is -1.25. This is -0.66 repeating. This is -0.8, and that's -1.4. So we've got -2. So -2 is the smallest number. And so then -1.4. And then -1.25. Remember, the bigger the number, the more negative it is. And so then -0.8. And then -2/3. And technically, those are wrong because that's -5/4 and -4/5. And so that's your answer. -2, -1.4, -5/4, -4/5, -2/3, and 1/3. And that's everything on the quiz. Good luck.